Well, hello. Welcome to our May 1st Sunday gathering. Of course, May 2nd to our friends down under. I'm Sandra Champlain. Wherever in the world you are, you're in just the right place for today. In fact, you're very lucky. You're very special that you get to be here today. Why? Because we say so. Our words create our worlds. So with that, today is number 110 Sunday gathering. I'm going to turn it over to Carrie, who has designed our theme for today. Over to you, Carrie.
Thank you very much, Sandra. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, whether you're live with us or whether you are watching the recording. Today's Sunday gathering is to the theme of better and stronger together. I thought there's so many examples of the world coming together in a united way, friends coming together, families coming together, communities coming together. So I thought we would celebrate that theme today. So today we've got Sandra, as always, going to do the mediumship, and the medium for today will be Mr. Philip Dykes, who's sitting to my right hand side. Sandra's going to also be doing the address. And I've invited Darren to do the prayers and the reading for today as well, and the healing too. So as we move through today, allow yourself to enjoy and remember all the people around about the world who are better together. And I've got a little song right at the end that will move you and brighten up your day. It's a little girl singing Let It Go in Ukrainian. So we've got that to look forward to at the end. But I'm going to pass over to Darren for the prayer. Thank you.
Thank you for that introduction, Kerry, and welcome to all of you. And thank you, Kerry, for putting in a wonderful theme. So without further ado, if you'd all like to close your eyes and join me for the opening prayer. We come together here united once again under that banner of We Don't Die. We come here together united in hope, peace and harmony. As we come united, we do so in different countries from around our lands. We come together here speaking different languages, different dialects, and we come together from different backgrounds and different understandings. But we come here together today with that one hope and that one desire, that we unite together as one in love, for the joy and celebration of uniting the two worlds together as one. As we enter into this experience, we do so with no demands and no expectations, and allow our workers to be free and work openly, and our dear friends, helpers and loved ones from that world we call unseen to be free and open as well, so that we can feel that healing balm, hear those wise thoughts and hear those words of truth, that life is eternal and lives on in that world we call unseen. All of us here today deem it an absolute joy and privilege to work for the unseen world and to work with the unseen world and represent the unseen world. And we hope within our own abilities, we can do this in the best way possible and to make you proud. As we enter into this Sunday gathering, we do so with pure love within our hearts, smiles upon our faces and positivity within our minds. And we ask that a healing balm is cast around the world to bring that glimmer of hope and happiness to all those minds that are in need at this time. So without further ado, friends, we welcome you here today. Amen. Okay, I'm going to be doing today's reading. I've actually got two short readings. I couldn't decide which one to pick, but both of them kind of hit a bit of a chord with me, so I hope they may do the same for you. First one is called Love Stays. A nurse took the tired, anxious serviceman to the bedside. Your son is here, she said to the old man. She had to repeat the word several times before the patient's eyes opened. Heavily sedated because of the pain of his heart attack, he dimly saw the young uniformed Marine standing outside the oxygen tent. He reached out his hand, and the Marine wrapped his toughened fingers around the old man's limp ones, squeezing a message of love and encouragement. The nurse brought a chair so that the Marine could sit beside the bed. All through the night, the young Marine sat there in the poorly lighted ward, holding the old man's hand and offering words of love and strength. Occasionally, the nurse suggested that the Marine move away and rest for a while. He refused. Whenever the nurse came into the ward, the Marine was oblivious of her and of the night noises of the hospital, the clanking of the oxygen tank, the laughter of the night staff members exchanging greetings, and the cries and moans of the other patients. Now and then she heard him say a few gentle words. The dying man said nothing, only held tightly to his son all through the night. Along towards dawn, the old man died. The Marine released the now lifeless hand he had been holding and went to tell the nurse. While she did what she had to do, he waited. Finally, she returned. She started to offer words of sympathy, but the Marine interrupted her. Who was this man? He asked. The nurse was startled. He was your father, she answered. No, he wasn't, the Marine replied. I never saw him before in my life. Then why didn't you say something when I took you to him? I knew right away there had been a mistake, but I also knew he needed his son, and his son just wasn't here. When I realized that he was too sick to tell whether or not I was his son, knowing how much he needed me, I stayed. The next time someone needs you, just be there and stay. Okay, my next little reading, so I just take a glass of water, my throat's a bit, is called The Mousetrap. A mouse looked through the crack in the wall to see the farmer and his wife open a package. What food might this contain? The mouse wondered. He was devastated to discover it was a mousetrap. Retreating to the farmyard, the mouse proclaimed the warning. There is a mousetrap in the house. There is a mousetrap in the house. The chicken clucked and scratched, raised her head, and said, Mr. Mouse, I can tell this is a grave concern to you, but it is no consequence to me. I cannot be bothered by it. The mouse turned to the pig and told him, there is a mousetrap in the house. There is a mousetrap in the house. The pig sympathized, but said, I'm so very sorry, Mr. Mouse, but there is nothing I can do about it but pray. Be assured you are in my prayers. The mouse turned to the cow and said, there is a mousetrap in the house. There is a mousetrap in the house. The cow said, wow, Mr. Mouse, I'm sorry for you, but it's no skin off my nose. So the mouse returned to the house, head down and dejected, to face the farmer's mousetrap alone. That very night, a sound was heard throughout the house, like the sound of a mousetrap catching its prey. The farmer's wife rushed to see what was caught. In the darkness, she did not see it was a venomous snake, whose tail the trap had caught. The snake bit the farmer's wife. The farmer rushed her to hospital, and she returned home with a fever. Everyone knows you treat fever with fresh chicken soup. So the farmer took his hatchet to the farmyard for the soup's main ingredient. But his wife's sickness continued. So friends and neighbours came to sit with her around the clock. To feed them, the farmer butchered the pig. The farmer's wife did not get well. She died. So many people came for her funeral. The farmer had to slaughter the cow to provide enough meat for all of them. The mouse looked upon it all from the crack in the wall with great sadness. So the next time you hear someone is facing a problem and think it doesn't concern you, remember, when one of us is threatened, we are all at risk. We are all involved in this journey called life. We must keep an eye out for one another and make an extra effort to encourage one another. Each of us is a vital thread in another person's tapestry. So now we move into our healing segment. And healing is, to all of us, it's an importance. And it's more relevant today than it's ever been. When you look across the globe at what's going on, there's war, there's famine, we've got price increases, food shortages. But you know what? Together, we can get through it. Together, we can get through anything. Together, we are stronger. So what we're going to do now, we're going to play a lovely piece of music. And what I want you to do is all sit. We're going to bring our minds together and we're going to project our thoughts. We're going to project we want a better world. We want a better life. And just think of all those people across our globe in need at this time. All those people that feel isolated and alone. They're never alone. We're here for them. So let's just send that thought out as we sit and listen to this lovely piece of music.
Well, hello, you have me for the address. Just need to tell you, I do have a little bit of a cold. So there's coughs and sneezes and sniffles and things. So if you see me quickly do this and mute myself, just know I'll try not to cough into the microphone. Anyways, I feel great. Other than that, it's all just up here. When Carrie came up with the theme today of better and stronger together, I really wasn't quite sure what I wanted to share. Now, I know that we are better and stronger together. You know, you hear people part of a tribe and the team and teamwork and all that. So it makes sense. But how does it apply to our lives, really? And last night I couldn't sleep. I think I took a few too many cold tablets and my brain was wide awake. So I ended up doing a little binge watching on the television. And there's a show called Ozark. You may know it. And I'm not just a Disney girl. Yes, I like a little murder mystery and all that kind of thing too. Well, anyways, this Ozark had its series finale, and I ended up staying up to the wee hours and watching it last night. And it's very well written. It's won a ton of awards. The storyline is incredible, keeps you on the edge of your seat. And just after the final episode aired, came a half-hour special on the making of the show. And as my brain was wide awake, I thought, well, what's another half hour at 3 o'clock in the morning? So I stayed up and I watched it, and something really hit me. The awards that it's received and all the success, every person that was interviewed in the cast, and also down to the lady who was making coffee and making sandwiches, they said everybody is part of a team. It starts right at the very top with the people that created the TV show, this sense of community, of loyalty, of love, of fun, of family, of self-expression, and just being yourself. So the top stars were just as friendly with, you know, some of the camera operators and some of the people lugging around equipment as they were with the others. I mean, people are just people. And so when they were looking to see what made this series so successful, they said it was the people, and it was how they worked together as a team. They trusted each other. They were grateful for each other. Everyone said it's the best show that they've ever worked on just because of how other people made them feel. So isn't that something? Better and stronger together, and winning a ton of awards. And I know I'm not the only one who was on the edge of my seat, you know, watching that. I'm not recommending it for everybody because there's some tough scenes to watch, but it really is a good storyline. And then I was dabbling around YouTube, as we do, and I found a video talking about how Navy SEALs are chosen. Now, for those of you who don't know, in the United States, the Navy SEALs are special ops. I mean, they are some of the best of the best of the very best we have in the military. And in the video, it was talking about, it didn't matter how smart you were intellectually, how good of an eye you had, you know, what your vision was. It didn't matter how strong you were. And of course, you would imagine that you need all of these things to be a Navy SEAL, of course. But what they found with all Navy SEALs is when they worked them to the point of being physically and mentally exhausted, filled with fear, maybe shivering cold, maybe skinny, scrawny. What they were looking for is the people that reach out for the guy next door and help another person. And when they've lost everything, the people who can still be of service. And isn't that interesting that that is the number one thing that they look for? Someone who is in service to another. When we put together the little ad for today, we included a piece of rope, better and stronger together. And yes, I went down in my basement and I found some rope. It's falling apart. And I just, you may not be able to see it, but like it's coming apart right here. One piece of rope seems like one piece of rope, but when you look at it, this piece of rope here is probably at least 200 individual strands, and they're tied up real tight. And even though this part is coming apart, it is still just as tough. Why? Better, stronger together, right? You know, there's that story we hear of, I can't remember the old story, but that father was talking to his sons, and, you know, if you have one stick, it can break, but if you put many sticks together, they're much stronger together. So I was thinking about that, thinking about the rope, and we all have our strands, shall we say, that keep us strong. And you may not think of it, but we all have these things called relationships. Yes, we do. Now, we do have a team in the invisible world that love us, support us. They know us to our hearts. They know who we really are. Because have you ever felt like with different groups of people, you're kind of a different person? There's some things that you just can't share with everybody. When you find your real tribe, you can let your hair down and just be yourself, warts and all, whatever that may be. And that's when you really shine. But we have people in our life. I'm grateful to have Carrie and Phil and Scott and Darren. And I feel like I've met my tribe. And when I think of the Navy SEALs, it never even dawned on me, but I think the five of us are a successful group. I really do. We've done some live events. Obviously, we're doing things online. We get so many positive words that come via email and messages from the students of our class. And they say, you know, above and beyond and customer service and great content and great teaching and all that. And I think all of it is because we let each other be who we are, and we love each other. And I will do anything to make sure their lives work out, whatever that takes. That's how I feel. To the ends of this earth, I will do everything I can for you guys. And I know you feel the same for me, but I think that's a reflection of how we are successful with the students and the people that come to our Sunday gatherings and our demonstrations. It starts from us. And I never really could put a finger on it until I started doing this research for today. So it's a pretty good thing. Now, we don't always have teams of people, you know, that we work with, although we might, but any relationship is a team. So if you have a significant other, say, or a child that you're close to, or a parent you're close to, you know, that relationship is special. And what would it be like to just love them, who they are, and really, what can we do to make a difference for them? A lot of people know that I have this amazing relationship with my mom. You know, we really do. But what most people don't know is we went several years without talking to each other. Ha ha. Didn't know that, did you? Well, here's the thing. My mom and dad got married. She was 22, he was 27. Around my age of 14, their marriage broke up and they got divorced. And I was daddy's little girl. So, you know, whatever dad said clearly had to be the truth. But it wasn't until those years had passed, and not speaking to my mom for any particular reason, except for, you know, I sided with dad, you know, but that's what I believed was right, kind of thing, you know, not that any kid should take sides, but I did. And it took visiting my mom just to kind of clear the air. And thankfully for alcohol, we shared a bottle of wine. And I think that just kind of let us be relaxed a little bit. But through probably the longest dinner of my life. We sat there and we talked about the past and our experiences and how different things made us feel. And little did I know until mom got to express her life, what the relationship was like with my dad. And dad was a great person, but it takes two. Not all relationships are meant to be together. But it wasn't until I could see mom's life through her eyes and through her experiences, not just, some of the things maybe my dad had said or some of the things I thought as a teenager, but to really take the time and slow down and get into her shoes, where what happened was this love showed up, the love for this woman who worked so hard in her life, did the best she could, having 4 kids. I can't imagine that's easy. And starting again after having a divorce. And the two of us really put the past in the past and agreed to be open and honest with each other, no matter what that means. There hasn't always been, there's been disagreements and things over the years, but the love I have for her is just tremendous. Many people had heard that I put together a birthday video for my mom, who just turned 80 a couple weeks ago. And what he gets for the lady who has everything. And I put together a montage of some very funny things. And then also some people that are very close to her, wishing her beautiful messages of happy birthday. And it ended up being 28 minutes. She laughed, she cried. It was wonderful. But I wouldn't have had that idea had that love not been so present, had I not put aside whatever had happened in the past. I'm not alone here, especially I think a lot of us have had people who have passed into the unseen world, and grief can rip apart families. It can be very tough. We have people in our life that we may have had disagreements with. We may have gone our separate ways, hopefully not forever, but things happen that you just can't see each other's perspective, and fights happen and things. I think better and stronger together. I guess I'm just asking for all of us is to not give up on the people in your life. Some of them don't speak this language. They don't want to hear about the afterlife, and they think this is all new age mumbo jumbo. If you're happy, great, but don't talk to me about it. I think we all have those kind of people in our life, and that's fine. But if we can take some time in the people that may have already invested plenty of years being with us. They could be family members, they could be friends. And I know certainly things happen and people go their separate ways. So I'm not saying you need to try to fix or change anyone, but you may already have a tribe and loved ones. And maybe it might just take a conversation like I had with my mom and really trying to see things from their perspective to really understand. We each do the very best job we can in life. Stuff happens. And I think if we can be in a position where we're sitting with someone, whether you're talking to them on Zoom or on the phone or face to face, if we can just show up and love that soul that is across from us, I don't think there can be any wrong done. I say this in my book, and somebody gave me this pillow that says, I am a divine soul. I keep this in my room to remember not only that I'm the divine soul, but everyone that we see are divine souls. So if we can take that moment and remember them for who they are, talk to them for their greatness, see the good in them. So easy to pick people apart for what's wrong. But when you start talking to people about what's right and what you love about them, and even if it's a total stranger that you see and you make a comment on their jewelry or their smile, gosh, something really amazing opens up. I mean, those are two souls connecting. I'm sure everybody knows how a pearl is made, right? Take a little bit of grit, a little sand, whatever that is. It's an irritant inside the oyster. Well, I think people are in our lives like those irritants sometimes. And sometimes we get really along well with people, and sometimes they rub us the wrong way. But is it possible that they're polishing up us to be that gem, that pearl? How can we sit back and look at somebody, even, the quirks that they have? And I would say people at our Sunday gathering are, that term old souls. Well, I won't get into that really, but just the fact that I think we're a little bit wiser to the bigger picture. I'll put it to you that way, wiser to the bigger picture. And not all people live like life like that. And, I don't live like that all the time. It takes every Sunday and the courses that we do to remember the bigger picture. But we have that ability. Whereas some people, they have no idea, and all they do is complain, 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 complain. And to just sit back and see them for, I'm looking at the pillow, the divine soul that they are. Try to step into their shoes. And it's a whole different kind of relationship. People feel listened to. I used to be the type person when I would be in a conversation with somebody that I was always thinking about, what is there to say next? What can I say next? Well, unfortunately, when you do that, when I did that, you're not being present. We are not only divine souls, but we are really wise. I mean, have you ever given somebody a piece of advice and you're like, where did that come from? Well, when you're so present and you're just sitting there with love, guess what shows up? Well, first of all, you listen and you love, and the right words will come out of your mouth. I promise you that. So I know I have said this quote before, but I'm going to, here. Before I do that, I made a couple of notes. One of the best fortune cookies I ever got, it said, the best place to stand in an argument is on the other person's side. And that goes right back to what I said before, is really try to understand someone. And when people feel that they're really listened to and understood, even if there's a discrepancy, you'll have a better relationship. And then another one I got is, give up being right, even if you are. We human beings, we want to be right, don't we? Oh, we do. And it's tough, but are you willing to give up a relationship or go to bed at night angry with each other just because you have to be right? So there are times this old soul, or this one with a bigger perspective, can actually catch myself in the act. I am not perfect by any means. I've got some hard times, and there's some things that are my triggers. Some people say a couple of things to me, that gets me all revved up. But there are times when I can sit back and that give up being right, even if you are. It's not worth getting into an argument. So I'll say, well, we'll see, or okay, or I understand how you may feel that way. And then it's over. I do not like holding on to any kind of baggage at all. And as far as relationships that may have gone sour, I am a stand that families come back together, even families and relationships that have come apart because of grief. A wise soul that speaks through the mediumship of Scott Milligan once told me, this is Daniel. He said, imagine a circle. And at the very bottom, this is like a relationship that can go apart, but eventually they come back together. And so while I'm hoping it's in this world, not the other world, that, say, the relationships I have come back together, I don't know. But I know if I love people, understand who they are, where they are, forgive yourself, forgive others, that we can't go wrong. And I do know, I think we all know, that if we look back upon our life, some of the worst things that have happened kind of molded us to who we are today and how we are today, giving, loving, generous, whatever those things may be. So some of those people may just be angels along the path, set to irritate us just a little bit, kind of like that sand in the oyster, making the pearl out of who we are. So this is the quote I wanted to say from Zig Ziglar. You will get all that you want in life if you help enough other people get what they want. So whether you think of the Navy SEALs, or you think of that Ozark film winning all the awards, or any successful team, even our We Don't Die successful team here, it's because we really do love each other and we really do care. And I think being a human being, that's just one of the gifts that we have, is the ability to be loving. And it doesn't matter if you don't know how. There's something good you can find in absolutely everybody, and you can love them for it. And while you're at it, take a look in that mirror and love yourself. It's a hard road, baby, but it's all worth it. It really is. So you have us as a team as well. So thank you for listening to the address. And now we are going to move on to the demonstration of mediumship. And for this today, we have Phil Dykes, my buddy, my pal. And Phil has spent many, many years not only training to be a medium, but also working to teach mediumship along with Carrie. Each one of us human beings, no matter what side of the veil we're on, we deserve to have our words heard. And so I know Carrie and Phil really teach that, as great as it is for us recipients to get these messages, it's even greater for the person who has lost their voice to be able to be heard again. So for our new people joining us, I'll just give a rundown of how this goes. And for our people that are more seasoned, who have been here before, you'll know what I'm about to say. But the folks in the spirit world have our demonstration handled. They have come together before we've even come together, and they've agreed upon who's going to step into, I say step into, but speak with Phil, and he'll be the medium and share with us some of the details about the person that has introduced themselves to him. Now, they use every bit of Phil. They'll use his pictures and his minds, his memories, his thoughts, his feelings, and he'll do the very best he can to let you know what's coming through. Our loved ones are very much real people, as we'll find out someday. We don't turn into balls of energy or anything like that. We're real people. And we keep our personality. Isn't that great? Yes, it is. Well, maybe some people not so much. But anyways, for the most part, yes. So Phil will start off by giving a few bits of information about the spirit person that has contacted him. And when he does, I want you to really listen in keenly. And if you can understand every bit of information that he has just spoken about somebody that no longer walks this earth, that has been in your life. It could be a friend or a family member, or sometimes it's a little bit distant. But if you can understand the information, we want you to press your raise hand button. Now, for our newcomers and anybody who likes to press buttons, if you want to find that raise hand button on your device and press it and see what happens on your side. Yep, it's lighting up on my side. So I get to see your names and then a whole bunch of hands raised. Very good. And then it should say lower hand. So I want you to hit lower hand. Excuse me. Very, very good. You guys are great. Sometimes it takes a couple of minutes to distinguish who the spirit person is here for. And once we do, I will ask you to unmute yourself. Now, you don't see that button yet because I have to press something on my side first to unmute you. And this gives you an opportunity to talk to Phil. And when I say talk to Phil, your job is easy. His job is a little harder. We only want you to say yes, no, or I don't know to the words that he gives. And the reason this is so is we want everybody to leave our Sunday gathering today knowing that Phil was communicating with the spirit person, that our lovely friend who is the recipient didn't give the information away. And I know we get excited and, we want to share. But if you could do me the favor, us the favor, just say yes, no, or I don't know. It's perfectly fine to say no. No means new opportunity. Phil will look to clarify the information. And that's pretty much how it goes. So before we bring on Phil, we always like to play a joyful piece of music. It's a good opportunity, whether you have your eyes closed or open, just to feel that love for your loved ones, whether they're walking this earth or not. If you're in a room right now, pack it filled with love. You know how to do it. You know how to love. Bring them in together. Enjoy the song. And then we'll have Phil here when we come back. Here is our song. All right. There's no other firework like Phil Dykes. Hi, Phil.
Hello, Sandra. Thank you for those wonderful words. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Hello to Darren and Kerry as well. And just like that firework, the words that you spoke, Sandra, absolutely exquisite, especially about that pearl, about things rubbing you the wrong way and looking at it in a different way to create that better you, to create that pearl that you are. So that's going to really stay with me. So hello, ladies and gentlemen, all the way from Scotland. Yes, you heard it right. We're in Scotland, not in England today. So it's absolutely a pleasure. And my job is to bring you that mediumship and to be inspired by the spirit world with those impressions, their evidence, their stories, the way that they want to. So without further ado, Sandra, am I okay to begin?
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. Because as I become aware of the spirit world, I know here I'm impressed to say I have Father in the spirit world. I know his name is John. I also know with Father, he could be a bit of a firework himself, because I just feel there's a real personality, but I want to say there's a little bit of a temper when he does. In fact, I want to change that word. I don't want to use the word temper. I know when he doesn't get things his way, or things are not doing, or people are not doing what they should do. I know he likes things done correctly, and I know you get to see that other side of him, not in a horrible way, but I know he's very straightforward how he is as well. But I also feel that he passes to the spirit world through that disease of cancer as well. So I know I have Father, I know his name is John, I know he has that cancer that takes him to the spirit world, and I also know he has that little bit of a firework within him as well.
Thank you, Phil. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, who understands this nice gentleman? Okay, we've got two with their hands up.
Okay,
Phil?
we've got two people. Good. So I know as I work with Father as well, I want to say that Dad, Father has an answer for everything. He just has that side of him that, well, it's almost like he's a font of all knowledge, where he likes to, if I get this right, watch the news and take everything in. So I know he seems to pay attention to his world and what's going on in the world.
All right, thank you. Now, Angela and Alan, both of you had your hands up. Still, just wanted to make sure you didn't hit the button by accident. So we still have our two friends with their hands up. So.
And I actually believe as well, when it comes to taking in like the news and things, people had to be quiet while he watched his programs, and where he would really want to listen to what is being said. And I know the person I want to talk to would have a memory where Father or Dad will go, shh, be quiet, I'm listening.
All right. Okay. Okay, we're down to one hand up. We've got Alan. Alan, if you could press your unmute button.
I've done it.
Welcome.
Thank you for
Hello.
doing that, Alan. So, Alan, you understand everything I've said so far?
Apart from the name.
Apart from the name. Then
Apart
if
from
I'm
the
wrong
name,
with the
I've
name,
taken
let me
it.
look at this for a second, because I did hear it, I did feel it went together. Then there must be either uncle or somebody your dad would have known quite well called John.
I think my granddad had a brother called John.
Okay, because I know it's in the family and I know it should be around Dad, that's fine. But with your dad, would you understand that
It's my granddad.
right, so who was John?
No, my granddad is the one you've got.
Is it? I do believe it's John. I don't believe, in fact, I do believe it's Father. I don't believe that it is grandfather. I'll work with you just for a minute to see, because we do get the relationships wrong at times, but I need to stick with the evidence. Then if I'm with your grandfather, would you understand where you would have the memory of him telling you to be quiet and while he listens to his programs like the news?
All the time.
And would I be right in saying it was like clockwork? Oh, sorry, my computer's going low. I need to switch the battery on. Where he would watch his programs religiously. He wouldn't like to miss anything out.
No, that's true. That's true.
And it's almost where he will get prepared in advance for those TV programs, make sure that everyone's quiet, he's got everything around him.
Yeah.
Then I've got to apologize, because I did feel it was Father, but he must, because the way that he keeps him coming in, he must have been quite a big influence in your life.
He was.
That's fine, because that's the reason why I keep on feeling further with him. But I also know with your grandfather then, that he would have been quite a straightforward talking man.
Oh, very to the point.
And would I be right in saying when there was conflicts in the world, he could be quite opinionated by it as well?
Yeah, very
And
self-opinionated.
if he was alive here today, I know he's alive in the spirit world, but he
Yeah.
would have his voice heard about Ukraine and things like that.
Oh, yeah, you know, with voices.
And I know he
big
would be
time.
an advocate for people that were not in the best position, where they were the underdog.
That's right.
Because I believe your grandfather, his life wasn't easy. There was quite a few struggles personally.
Yeah,
And I want to say that these struggles were in the family.
yeah.
But I also believe that your grandfather would have served his country as well.
Yeah,
Because I just feel, Alan, that the way that he refers to Ukraine, he's been through similar things, and he's been the underdog at times as well. And would I be right in saying where he used to live, there was a public house either across the way or on the corner where he lived?
yeah.
Because he's got the memories of going in there. But I also want to say, not just for drinking, but it feels like he would catch up with the world events and the community events.
Oh, yeah, he was a man that liked to be heard.
Okay, because I also believe where he lived as well, there was the railway lines as well.
Yeah, the bottom of his garden.
That's fine, because I know here this is where I want to, but I also know I have the memory, and he comes in very strongly with this, with the railway public house, the railway pub.
That's right.
Because again, now would I also be right in saying that your grandfather, I don't want to say he was well read, but he had books.
Oh, yeah, loads of Western
And I know
books.
he would, and I know I said he wasn't well read. I know he read, but I want to say he could remember things as they were and as they were said. And he would
Oh, yeah.
Because I believe that he would go and refer to things. This is where it became worldly, but then he would go to the book where it was written. So I know he had that memory as well.
Yeah.
And I want to say that he brings that forward because there was questions over his memory at the end.
That's right.
And I want to say as well that just recently there's been birthdays around, not your birthday, but within the family, Alan.
Yeah.
And
today.
That's fine, because I know it must have been, I'm sorry to say this, a last moment thought with, oh, I've nearly missed it. Understand?
Yeah, no, it's true.
Because I know here he comes in and says, my mind's clear, and I know that your mind almost forgot something. So he had that way about him where he could have that little bit of a laugh and sarcasm as well, but in a very positive way. But I also know that when he spoke, everyone listened.
Oh, yes.
Because there's this sense of being able to hold people's attention and he had a presence about him.
Yeah, very much so.
And I know he would know a lot of businessmen within the local community in town he lived.
Yeah.
Because I know I said there was John, the name of John there, but he would have known a gentleman who run the undertakers as well.
Oh, I don't know about that, but he probably would. You know,
Okay,
everybody.
because I know here, and just recently, Alan, would it be right in thinking you've been looking at doing DIY in your home?
Yeah.
Because I know he's just, and you've been thinking about visiting either a superstore to buy something to do that DIY.
I'm going there tomorrow.
That's fine, because he keeps on measuring me up with a tape measure, and I'm saying I'm not going to the spirit world. This is how I came to know about that undertaker, and I know,
right.
Okay, because I know he's just this sense of humor here as well. But I also believe, just before I leave you, he would also talk on topics such as religion and faith.
Oh, yes, yes.
And I know he could be quite outspoken there.
Very outspoken.
And I know he could be quite partial to challenging those in authority of religion as well.
Oh, he would. He'd ask every question going.
I know, because the things I'm hearing, I'm not going to repeat, but I believe
No,
he played devil's advocate with such
Yeah.
people. And I know that this is personality. And I know the reason he mentions this to me is where you've not been questioning people's abilities or things, but you've been questioning religion or your faith, not in that you don't believe, but looking at a bigger picture.
No, that's very true, actually. Yeah, no,
Okay,
that's true.
because he's around you and knows that. And one last thing, you must have had the little railway sets, like the Hornby sets.
Yeah, no, I did when I was younger.
That's fine, because he's got a memory of playing with this, because
Yeah,
it's almost like the impression, and he must have started you off, because the railway lines at the bottom of his garden, it's almost like you watched the trains together.
yeah, we know we did.
And again, this is where the impression were, the idea of getting you trains. And I do believe that he would have bought you a train set, a locomotive, he says, that you were after for that train set.
Oh, that's true.
So I'm going to leave your grandfather's love, but know that he's with you in your mind and your heart and trying to impress you the best way. And I know he's heard your thoughts about Ukraine and such as well.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Because he says you've been voicing your opinion in your own room by yourself.
I have.
It shows that the spirit world's always listening. I'm going to leave
Oh,
you
I
in
know.
respect and love, Alan.
Thank you
I'm going
so
to say thank you
much.
very much.
Thank
You're
you.
absolutely welcome. Absolutely welcome.
Thank you, Alan. Thank you, Phil.
Okay, good. I do believe, as I become aware of the spirit world again, I know here I want to talk about a lady, and I know her name is Marion, and I know as she comes forward, I get the feeling of an auntie, and I also feel with Marion that she was a lady, again, that liked things done properly, and I get a sense of where she would have liked the piano, and I get the impression she would have played the piano as well. So I know I have the name of Marion, I know she should be auntie, and I know she liked to play the piano.
All right. Thank you, Phil. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, who can understand this lady? Please press your raise hand button. And no hands up just yet, Phil. Oh, I spoke too soon. Autumn has her hand up. Let's ask Autumn to unmute. Hi, Autumn.
Hello,
Hello, that's a happy voice there, Autumn. How are you doing?
I'm good.
Fantastic. And it looks like you're enjoying yourself on your bike, as you see on your screen there. Good. So you understand everything I've said, Autumn?
Yes.
Fantastic. And with your auntie, would I be right in saying she was very particular? She was a very particular lady.
Very particular, yes.
And it's almost where, when I say she's particular, I want she would obviously take her time to choose things, and people would have to wait for her answer.
Yes.
And when I say she's particular as well, she could have observations, I'm choosing my words carefully, observations of how people were and what they wore.
Oh, yes.
And she's not like being derogatory, but she would just ask these simple questions of, oh, do you like that? And it would make people think twice.
Yes.
And it's got this wonderful way with her words. But I want to say as well, your auntie would be quite a perfectionist.
Oh, yes, for sure.
Because even though I know she played the piano and obviously could read piano music, I do believe when she listened to people in a musical sense, she'd know if they were on tone or out of tone by the slightest of fractions.
I don't know about that.
Okay, would I be right in saying she would be at family get-togethers with you all?
Oh, yes.
And where music was played or somebody, in fact, bear with me, Autumn, would I be right in saying there was a time when you would try to play the piano or play the piano?
Yes.
And would I be right in saying at one of these family get-togethers you would have played the piano?
Yes.
And would I be right in saying everyone applauded you, but your auntie also applauded, but said there was one or two little notes wrong?
Oh, yes.
Because that's where I want to be. And this is how she brings my mind to it, because I just feel she's that perfectionist, but she has such a way as well. But would I be right in saying she would have played the piano at the same time as you?
Yes.
Because it feels like I want to do the chopsticks. I feel it's more complicated than that, where there's two people playing the piano at the same time. But I also believe that your auntie would have had a good voice as well.
Yes.
Because I feel where I want to break out into song, and I'm not going to make everyone tone deaf with my dulcet tones, but I feel like I want to burst out into song as well with her. But again, she had this way of holding people's presence, holding people's attention.
Yes.
And I know she was a lady that people would go to, and that she would give frank, honest advice.
Very frank, yes.
And I want to say she wouldn't be derogatory, but she had an intellect of looking past the personal and pointing out the facts.
Oh, yes.
And I know there will be a memory at one of these family get-togethers where your auntie would turn round and you would remember not chastising, but pointing out two people that were having a little bit of a debate, if I say it politely that way, and pointing them out and steering them in the right direction.
Yes, she'd point that out.
And
Yes.
I do believe that your auntie will be very family orientated. And I know when the family's together, she want nothing to disturb their attention and keep it almost together, if that makes sense.
Yes, that makes sense.
Because I do believe there's a memory of where the ladies would stay in the room and the gentlemen would slip out to watch either sports and things.
Yes, they would be separated. Yes.
And I know she would have one or two things to say about that.
Oh, yes.
And I also know as well, she stood up for women's rights.
I don't remember that.
Let me put it this way. Would I be right in saying she could be quite vocal when it came to people tidying up and everyone pulling their weight?
Oh, for sure. That was her.
Because I know it's almost like I want the gentleman at the sink and everything else doing the washing up and all the rest of it. So I know she could be quite vocal that way. But there's just this sense as well, where it's almost where, how can I put this? It's almost where she would laugh at the response. And you must have seen this, where she would have a little tete-a-tete with people, and she'd sit back and smile, really proud with herself.
Yeah, I can see that.
Because I know if she said jump, people said how high. So I know she had that impression with them.
Oh, yeah, for sure. You did what she said.
Exactly. And I know that these birthday get-togethers would have been people's birthdays.
Yes.
And I know she would have been present at your birthdays.
Yes.
Because I believe there should be photographs of you and her cutting the cake together after the candles have been blown out.
Not sure.
Well, Autumn, if you could have a look through your family photographs, because I believe you've got them.
I believe they're there. Yes, I do.
Okay. And you can get in touch with me and let me know if I'm right or wrong, because there should be photographs and you and her, and I know I'm going to be polite because you're only young now, but I know when you were younger, when she was there, there's a photograph of you two together in front of a cake, and I know it's been cut, so you can let me know about that. And while I'm talking about family get-togethers, it's almost where I want the ladies in charge, like your mum and her, sorting the world out.
Oh, yes.
Okay. And I know there should be photographs of mum and her together at these same parties that we should have as well. Because I know with your auntie, it's all about family. It's all about putting the well-being, and it's all about what the theme is today, better together as we're stronger. And that's what she's letting you know. She's around you trying to put things together so you can be stronger in your convictions around the family. Understand?
I do understand.
That's fine. And she says there's nothing like speaking your truth from your beliefs. And I do believe this is about mediumship and the afterlife. So there must have been conversations within the family that you must be uncomfortable with having at times.
Yes.
Because I know she says, stand by your truth as well. Would I be right in saying your auntie has her own beliefs and thoughts about religion and afterlife?
Yes.
Because I know here she stands and lights a candle, but this is more in reflection of faith, belief, and letting your light shine. So I'm going to leave those thoughts with you, but know your auntie is with you as well. And you had to, bear with me, one last thing, you had to give her her full name. You couldn't shorten it. It had to be Marion.
Yes, it had to be Marion.
That's fine. And I'm going to leave her love with you and say thank you very much.
Thank you very much. That was wonderful.
You're welcome, Autumn. Thank you so much. Good.
Thank you, Autumn. Thank you, Phil. Thank you,
Thank you, Sandra.
Marion.
So when I got the name Marion, I thought of your mum.
Yes, she's a Marion too. Yes.
Okay. As I become aware of the spirit world again, I do believe I have somebody's friend here. I was going to say brother, and I'll check on that when I get to the recipient, but I know he must have played either an electric guitar in a band, in a group. So I know he was in a group at one time, but I believe his unfortunate passing was accidental. I know there was an accident that took him to the spirit world, but I do believe that he lived life to the full. And I know here, in fact, I'm going to leave it there for the moment. So I know somebody's got a friend in the spirit world that used to be in a group, and I know he played the electric guitar as well.
Thank you, Phil. All right, who understands this gentleman? Please press your raise hand button. No hands up yet.
That's fine. See, the thing is, I can't change it. I know.
Well, I always say that. I should give it
Who's
one
it?
more second. One more second. We have Elise with her hand up. Elise, could you press your unmute button? Hi,
Hello.
Elise.
Hi, Sandra.
Hello, Elise. Do you understand everything I've said?
I understand everything you said.
Good. So, Elise, just for everybody's knowledge out there, I do know you from the classes, but I don't think I've ever given you a contact. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Good. So if I say anything you think I know, please tell me. Okay. So with your friend in the spirit world, would I be right in saying he was very good at playing that guitar?
I'm not sure.
You're not sure. There's something here that doesn't feel right. Bear with me, Elise. Sandra, I nearly said Chandra there. Sandra, is there anybody else with a hand up?
Diane has her hand up. You can call me whatever you like, Phil. Chandra works fine. Diane, could you press your unmute button? And Elise, you just stay just where you are. Hi, Diane.
Hello there. Hi.
Hello, Diane. Do you understand
Phil.
everything I've said?
Pardon me?
Do you understand everything I've said so far?
Yes. I considered my adult son my best friend, and he fits everything else that you said.
Bear with me, because I knew there was something with the relationship I wasn't quite right with. So Elise, just stay in the background there. So with your son, that you consider your best friend, would you understand he was really good with the guitar?
Excellent.
And I know there would be really, and I can't do this justice, really good solos with the guitar he would play.
Yes, absolutely.
And I want to say there should be a memory, and this is giving my age away as well, where he would have almost copied some of the greats like Jimi Hendrix in the solos. He could do that kind of music.
Yes.
Because but would I be right in saying that it's almost where he fitted that part in the band? He was quite a live wire.
Yes.
Because it just feels, and if I said he had that personality that everybody took to.
Absolutely.
Because it just feels his charisma, his presence showed, and he came alive playing the guitar.
Absolutely, yes.
And I want to say, you know, when somebody finds their vocation, their soul quality, I want to say this is where your son really came alive through playing his music.
Very true.
And I want to say he could lose himself, and to watch him, you would lose yourself in his ability and what he was playing.
Yes.
Because he seems to have this wonderful way of, as he impresses on me, taking me into my own world. And I know this is where he went. And I want to say as well, the way that he showed his emotions through his music was second to none.
Yeah, that's so true.
And I want to say you could see his mood set by his music as well.
Right.
But would I be right in saying he played the guitar for you as well?
Yes.
And he would have, thank you. Would I be right in saying he would, and forgive me my terminologies, he would compose his own music or write his own songs?
Yes.
I believe he wrote a song for you.
I'm not sure it was for me, but yes. Yes.
Because again, I do believe it was for you, because the way that he impresses my mind towards the emotions as he's writing it, it feels like he's got you in mind, and this is why I feel it was done for you. Or you, thank you. I want to say he wasn't just your best friend, and you told me that. I want to say that you were his big inspiration in life, Diane.
Thank you. I believe that's true.
And I want to say as well, there must be photographs of him playing on the guitar.
Many.
And I want to say this is where he seems to really not just come to life, but this is his world. This is the way that he interacted through his music.
100%.
And I also believe that there's times at get-togethers with friends that he would really be the center of attention, not through choice, but his personality. Everyone just warms to.
That's true.
And would I be right in saying that he also went into competitions as well?
No.
Thank you for a good, strong no. But there must be I've got you. I think I've got this. There must be memories where he played a venue where either agents or people came to watch him.
Probably not agents, but people.
I know people came to watch him, but I know there was influential people, because I get that impression here. But I want to say this, your son wouldn't play music for other people, he played it for himself.
100% true.
Because I know if he wasn't happy at playing something, he wouldn't play it, because I know it's got to really fit him and him. It's almost from his soul, almost from his essence. Everything about him shows through that music. And I want to say you saw him alive, and that's where he was alive.
100% true. Yes.
And I know here that you at times have been aware of the spirit world and almost heard guitar music or at times, and you thought, oh, where's that come from?
Not exactly, nope.
Bear with me. There must be something that you've heard along musical lines and it's got your attention, because I know your son, that's fine, because I know your son is reaching out to do his best, because I know you still talk to him. I know while I've been communicating with him, you've told him you loved him, but I know here he had that infectious personality, and I know he wouldn't do things for the sake of it. He'd do it if he felt like it.
That's true. And he would communicate through music.
That's fine, true. Because I know through his music he showed his love of you and family, but I also know when you said you loved him, he felt it, and the way he brings it back is differently, because I know he loves you, but again, it's through that music. And I want your mind to be open to what you may hear in the future, because I know he's doing his best to keep you uplifted, to get you through life, and to bring that positivity back in your step, Diane.
Wonderful. That's
one last thing. Would I be right in saying you kept birthday cards given to you from him?
Yes.
Because he says you've still got them, and I mean every word, because I want to say this is where he showed his feelings by what he wrote inside them.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Yeah.
I'm going to leave that with you, Dan, and say thank you very much for allowing me to do that contact.
Thanks, Phil. The other thing is that he also went back to school, and he was in a luthier program, so he actually built guitars.
Thank you very much. That never would have entered my mind. See, it shows that we don't know everything.
Yeah.
And we don't perceive everything.
Thank
but
you
now
so
you've
much.
planted that seed, that's for somebody else's contact in the future, maybe. Thank you so much, Diane. Thank you for helping me. Thank you.
Thank you, Diane. Thank you, Phil.
And thank you for Elise listening in the background as well. Okay, that's different. So I know as I begin here and come aware of the spirit world again, I know I have a gentleman with me, and I know as I work with gentlemen, I know here that he would have been a hat maker. I do feel this is either, I want to say grandfather that would have made hats, but I know the gentleman's hats, and I want to say he's either a tailor as well. So I know he does alterations, and I do believe he would have learned his skill through those war years. And I know this is where he would have specialized within that tailor's work. So I know somebody would have a grandfather that made hats and was a tailor.
Thank you, Phil. All right. We will wait who understands this nice man. Press your raise hand button. All right. Mary has her hand up. Very nice. Mary, if you can unmute yourself. Hi, Mary. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hello, Mary. How are you down under?
Fine, thank you.
And you understand everything I've said?
Yes.
Good. And would you understand with your grandfather, though, he was very detailed in his attention to detail and the work he did?
Yes.
And if I said he wasn't just a normal tailor, he was known for the quality of his work.
From what I've been told, I understand, yes.
And what you've been told, there must be stories where influential people came for suits.
I don't know.
You don't know. But he would have had his own shop.
No.
Oh, good strong no. Bear with me 1 second here. In fact, I'm going to stick with this just for a second. That's fine. I thank you for coming forward, Mary. I don't believe I'm with you because that shop seems to stand there. So thank you for coming forward.
No. Thank you.
Just hold on in the background. Don't go anywhere. Don't run off. We'll see. Is there anybody else coming forward, Sandra?
Christina's got her hand up. Hi, Christina, if you could press your unmute button.
Hello.
Hello, Christina. Do you understand what I've said about grandfather being the tailor and hats and he would have had his own shop?
Yes, not grandfather.
Not grandfather.
My father.
Yeah, father, because I was going between father and grand. That's fine. Okay. So, but you understand, but the detail of his work was incredible.
Yes.
And would I be right in saying that he made suits and hats for quite dignified people, quite, what's the word, social class, higher standards?
Correct.
That's fine. But I also want to say he would have worked or his knowledge and his craft through those war years.
Yes.
That's fine, because I keep on getting those. I want to say, but would I be right in saying that I want to say he made suits on demand for people as well? You couldn't just go in and buy one. It had to be made and altered and everything else.
That's correct.
Okay, and you would have memories of seeing people in the shop being fitted up and measured up.
Yes.
Because again, and would I be right in saying that when you were little, and I know you're only young, but when you were little, you would have memories of being in the shop?
Yes.
Because again, it feels where Dad would get you to help him.
Yes.
And it feels like he would put the tape measure around your neck and he'd give you the piece. It's almost like you stood at the side holding and you passed him things.
Correct.
But I also know as well that you should have memories that Dad had to deal with some customers that were quite outspoken.
Yes.
Because it just feels here where your father had this wonderful ability, knowing when to speak, knowing when not to speak. And I know here he could deal with different kinds of people.
Yes.
And would I be right in saying your father was quite, he wouldn't bend his rules too much. He wouldn't do lesser, he wouldn't accept lesser work. It had to be of a standard.
Yes.
And I also believe your dad could be a little bit outspoken because sometimes he could tell people he wasn't able to do things for them.
Yes.
And the reason I want to say that, because he was very aware of his ethics and morals. And I don't want to say he judged people, but if I said he didn't like people being treated unfairly.
Correct.
And I want to say that bear with me. I want to say people came into that shop from armed forces to political people to local government. Would you understand that?
Yes.
Because I know here it's very choosy of this clientele. And I want to say he would have specialized particular in hats.
No.
Doesn't, bear with me. Then, I'm going to use this slightly a different way. Then it must be your dad that liked to wear hats.
Correct.
That's fine. And I know that your dad was quite a good looking man as well, wasn't he?
I would say so, yes.
Because I know he has that way about him that just people got, it's almost like he was a very proud man, your father.
Yes.
And I know here, would I be right in saying that I hope I'm right with this, he would have been somebody that influenced you from coming from Europe over to where you live now.
Yes.
Because I know there would have been an influence of films and things from the West that impressed him.
Yes.
And would I be right in saying he used to have a mustache at one time as well?
Yes.
Because I know he's got a little bit of a look of a movie star, but I know it's just the impressions of him. But I know your dad was a very smartly presented gentleman as well.
Yes.
But I know your dad was also, even though I've been talking about his work, was very family orientated.
Yes.
And there must be a memory where he took you to this, two places. I want to say there should be memories where he took you to the circus.
Yes.
And I also believe he would have taken you to Warsaw Zoo as well.
Yes.
And would I be right in saying you were fascinated, because he's got a memory of being fascinated by lions?
Yes.
And would I be right in saying he also taught you how to ride a bike?
Yes.
And he took you into the park, and this is where he would have let you go?
Yes.
With the bike?
Yes.
But I also believe as well he showed you how to fly kites.
I think so. I don't remember that.
Would
yes.
I be right in saying he took you to the cinemas as well?
Yes.
And he would have taken you to see Mary Poppins?
I don't remember.
Okay, because I know this is where I keep on hearing the song "Fly Your Kite." I'm sure.
Oh yes, yes, I remember. Yes, I remember that. Yes.
But I also know there was times that Dad had to be away from the family, and there should be a vague memory of this for you.
Yes.
Because I know he had to take care of other businesses and things as well.
Yes.
Good. I'm going to leave you with Dad's love, with all those memories, but I want to leave you a memory from the zoo where he would have bought you candy floss as well.
Yes. Thank you.
And I want to say you absolutely loved it because I can see it all over your beautiful face. So I'm going to leave that memory with you and say thank you very much.
Thank you. Today actually is his anniversary of passing.
There we go. So
thank you very much, Phil. Thank you so
You're
much.
absolutely welcome. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been an absolute pleasure. Sandra, Darren, Kerry, it's been absolutely wonderful. And I'm going to hand you back to our wonderful hostess with the mostess. But remember those famous words, or those brilliant, profound words that Sandra said, that those sands may rub you up the wrong way, but they're polishing you to be the best person you can. Thank you very much.
Amen to that. And it is so hard to remember that in the moment, isn't it? Wow. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that demonstration by our wonderful Phil shows you they are still around. They still love us. They are still very much part of our lives. And I cannot even imagine their frustration that they can't get through to us all the time. We want to give everybody an opportunity to feel what it's like. It's wonderful to be part of a medium demonstration, but I tell you what, to be in one of our classes and get to actually experience it yourself, there's nothing quite like it. This coming Saturday, Phil and Carrie are hosting a 5-hour workshop, which will start 4 hours before our Sunday gathering started, but it will be on Saturday, called Into the Essence. We are still us. Each human being alive or in the afterlife has our own essence, our own feeling. They work through us, through our feelings, through clairsentience, through our emotions, through our mind, through our feelings, to let us know that they're still alive. Whether you're a practicing medium, a student, you haven't not been with us before, everyone is welcome to join us in that class. It's a 5-hour class, Into the Essence, on May 7th. Also starting this week on Tuesday, we've got a brand new 4 Tuesday class sessions with Carrie and Phil. Each class is 2 hours. It's called Reading the Aura. Yes, each one of us has an aura. Yes, we do. This is an opportunity to bring your colored pencils or crayons and papers and learn to do auragraphs and auragrams. And it's something new for us, so you don't want to miss it. Of course, you can also join and watch by replay. You don't have to be with us live. On Wednesday, Carrie and Phil host psychic development class, and this month they'll be talking about using the nose. Nobody wants to get a no, but They teach you no means new opportunity. It'll be fine. So come join our Wednesday psychic class. And of course, you have a little practice in psychic. You move on to our Thursday mediumship course, and beautiful courses. On Friday, with our friend Scott Milligan, we first sit with our eyes closed for healing, offer healing to the world and to other people that need it. And also he is a trance medium. So there's a demonstration of trance mediumship. On May 9th, which is a Monday, that's when our May class with Scott begins, called Trance and the Altered States. Beautiful opportunity to learn to slow down and be present. And the unseen world is very, very real, and they love us. They are our teammates. Remember that. And before I hand it over to Carrie, I just want to say a warm thank you to our friends that have donated to make our Sunday gathering possible. We get some folks week after week that do share, and you don't have to, but we do appreciate it, and it helps us keep on keeping on. So you know who you are, and a big warm thank you from all of us for sharing what you have to make this possible for others. So Carrie, over to you for some words for the week.
Thank you very much, Sandra, and thank you to the team and for everybody at home for supporting our Sunday gathering. It really is better together when we are all together, even if we're virtual. It's better together. And as Sandra was speaking earlier on about the rope, I got this impression of people might know the suspension bridge. Suspension bridge is actually held together by rope. There's different suspension bridges in different towns all over the world. I'm sure there might well be one near where you are. But think about a bridge from one place to another, held by ropes, made of metal, albeit. But all these pieces of metal are crisscrossed and roped together to provide a strong system that holds a bridge. Now imagine if we were a rope system to hold a bridge between one person and another, one community and another, one country and another. If we can visualize that rope, then we can build suspension bridges virtually all over the globe. So let's get building. Thank you very much.
Thank you for those wonderful words, Kerry. And it's now fallen upon me to do the closing prayer. So we'd all like to close your eyes and join me for the closing prayer. We'd like to thank our friends, brothers and sisters from across our lands for coming together here today, uniting together as one in love, peace and harmony under that umbrella of We Don't Die, and allowing this Sunday gathering to take place. We'd like to extend a sincere thanks and gratitude to our friends, helpers and loved ones of that world we call unseen, for having the trust and the faith in us to work together and come together week in and week out and deliver our Sunday gatherings. Each and every one of us is unique individuals, and we all deliver our Sunday gatherings to the best of our understandings. And we hope in some way that we've made you proud in our own unique way, as we've done this all with truth, love and integrity. As we leave this Sunday gathering, we each leave this Sunday gathering feeling uplifted and happy thanks to the endeavours of that world we call unseen. And as we go forward on our own unique journeys of life, we tread our own pathways as we move forward, continuing to grow, to learn and to understand. And we appreciate that each and every pathway we take may not be as simple and straightforward as we'd like, but we do this forward, we move forward on these pathways in the comfort and understanding to know that you're an integral part of our lives, helping us, guiding us and inspiring us to be the best that we can be. So as we move forward together, we hope we can make a difference to humanity. And we ask that as we move forward in this week, that a healing balm continues to be shone across our lands to help bring comfort and healing to all those that may be in need at this time. So as always, friends, we thank you and we love you. Amen.
Thank you very much, Darren. Excuse me. And thank you for my team here, Carrie, Phil, Darren, Scott, behind the scenes, and me. We love this. Thank you to you sitting at home or wherever you may be. What little piece of the Sunday gathering are you going to take with you for your week this week? Think of that. And also a big thank you to our friends in the spirit world, very much alive with us all the time. So as we go into our closing song, as Carrie mentioned in the beginning, one little person can make a difference. Got to let your light shine and your passion shine. This is a girl in a bunker in Ukraine singing for her community.